Ladies. We are here tonight. We are here tonight on the show. We are here tonight on the show. And tonight on the show, we are going to talk about what has happened. And that is the news today that came out around lunchtime when my foot I almost swallowed it without chewing because I could not believe what had happened. And that was the New York Knicks traded their superstar player, their best player in a long time, Christmas Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks. Oh my lord! Everybody was going crazy. Everybody on Twitter was going crazy. Everybody was, and I'm like, what the hell are the New York Knicks doing? I'm like, damn, what the fuck are they doing? They need to be drug tested. I couldn't believe it. But you know what? As I sat down, read articles, had a talks with some people, legit sports talkers, I'm like, you know what? This isn't so bad because apparently Kristaps Porzingis today in the morning said he's not happy and he wanted a trade. He wanted to leave. A few hours later, they traded him. Simple as that. As good as he is, he's a star player. He's one of the best players they had in a while. He asked for a trade. Same thing as Anthony Davis. You don't want to be here? We're going to trade you. And they traded him. So New York, they didn't just do this. A lot of people are saying, no, they just did it to clear salary because they want to go for either Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving in the summer. That was part of it. But also, Kristaps Porzingis asked for the trade. He did not longer wanted to be in New York. So this is the NBA nowadays. You don't want to be here? We're not forcing you to be here. We're going to trade you. Simple as that. Mavericks came up. They told them, we'll give you 2 draft picks. We'll give you Wesley Matthews. We'll give you who else did they give them? DeAndre Jordan. We'll give you Dennis Smith Jr. And it was done. Finish. Kristaps Porzingis gets sent off along with Courtney Lee, and who else got sent? Can't even remember who else got sent, but expiring contracts, and they also use this to clear cap space so they can have about possibly up to $75 million free up by this move. By not only getting rid of the Kristaps Porzingis contract, but by getting rid of these other contracts, they clear up about somewhere from $75 million. So this is basically the New York Knicks saying, you know what, Kristaps Porzingis, you don't want to be here anymore. We're gonna trade you, and we're gonna start all over. Ever since the Carmelo Anthony thing, they've been kind of, they've been kind of trash. They thought that maybe by Carmelo Anthony leaving and just having Kristaps Porzingis, they could have built around him, but they have not been successful. Now Kristaps Porzingis said he don't want to be there anymore. So now it's like, okay, let's just start completely all over. We get rid of our franchise player, Kristaps Porzingis, and let's start all over. You're the worst team right now, I think. You have a chance to win the lottery, draft Zion Williamson, and tell me that is important here. If they draft Zion Williamson, because right away, people that becomes an attractant. Forget about all the money that you cleared up by getting rid of these guys. Tim Hardaway Jr. is another guy. I believe it was Kristaps Porzingis, Courtney Lee, and Tim Hardaway Jr. that were sent to my Mavericks. You clear up that money. Also, you take a talent who a lot of people believe might be a better version of Charles Barkley and Zion Williamson. Right off the bat, guys like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant are going to want to play there. And let me tell you something else. If for some reason you strike out this summer on free agency and you don't land either Kyrie Irving, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, you get Zion Williamson, which means the entire 2019-2020 season, you at least have Zion Williamson, and he can showcase, hey, I am about shit. I'm good as advertised. And then in 2020, you can sign free agents. You know what I mean? But tell me, it is very important that they somehow, some way, I think the NBA lottery is fixed. I've always thought it. And I think that this year they're either going to give it to New York. They're either going to give it to Chicago or New York. I thought about it. I think they are. And if they give it to New York, they get Zion Williamson. Worst case scenario, they strike out in free agency. They don't get nobody unless they get Zion Williamson. And it's like Luka this year. Luka Doncic. is showcased the first 3 months of the season. I'm about shit. That made Kristaps Porzingis want to sign at least for 1 more year. Kristaps Porzingis signed on until 2020 because there were some other teams involved. But he was saying, if you trade me there, I'm not signing. I'm not staying. So he at least told the Mavericks, because of Luka Doncic, I'm going to commit at least all the way until 2020. And so he's going to be a free agent again in 2020, but at least you have him for this year and next year. You know what I'm saying? So you have him for whatever's left of this season, and you have him the entire next year. And that's because of Luka Doncic as a rookie proving that he's about shit. That's what it's important to me. It is important that you at least land that first pick and get Zion Williamson. So if you do strike out in free agency, you at least have a guy and franchise player and Zion Williamson that can show for 1 year, I'm about shit. And then in 2020, you can attract free agencies. Also, you do have some extra picks. The Mavericks give you extra picks. I believe it's going to be 2019 and 2021. So you can also build through there. You know, you have a ton of possibilities here if you're the New York Knicks. You can go for you can go for free agency and try to build a super team. I like the Miami Heat, or you can build through the draft. You know, you possibly have up to 3 first rounders the next 3 years or 2, whatever, from here to up to like 2021. So you could build up both ways, kind of like the Philadelphia, you know, or the Thunder back in the day when, you know, they were drafting Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. There's a few ways to build this team. At first, it's like, what the hell are you doing? But as you read the stories, you find out Porzingis wanted out. You see the draft picks they got. They possibly got up to 3 first-round picks here in the next few years. You clear up to $75 million up in salary. It's like, damn, this kind of makes sense after a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Chicken Legs is on cloud 7. He's happy, you know. I don't know what's going to happen in free agency. That'll be the simplest way to get this thing back up, you know. Go get Kevin Durant, go get Kyrie Irving, win the lottery, get Zion Williamson. All of a sudden, you have a big 3 and Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Zion Williamson. That's probably either set than done, but that's probably what you're shooting at. But you should at least hope that you at least win the lottery and are able to land Zion Williamson. Because if you don't, then things become harder. So that's the first step. Is to win the lottery and land Zion Williamson. To me, everything from there, it's a lot easier. Zion Williamson is attractive. Worst case scenario, you strike out in this free agent class. You have Zion Williamson play for a year. He shows what he's about. And then in 2020, he go get somebody. But it all starts in the draft, in the lottery, if you're going to get Zion Williamson with the lottery pick. If not, it's not the end of the world. You still have 3 draft picks to work with. You know, you still have you still have about clear up $75 million in cap salary. So it's not the end of the world. But the main thing right here is to lose as much games as possible to put yourself in the best position possible to win that lottery come this summer. Then draft Zion Williamson, and you go from there. But to me, that should be the goal at this moment. Lose as many games as possible and put yourself in a position to draft Zion Williamson this summer. I think it's fixed. I think New York has a good chance of getting Zion Williamson. I really do. But we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comment section. As far as the Mavericks, now we're talking. You got Kristaps Porzingis, you got Luka Doncic. Try to win now up to 2020 to convince Kristaps Porzingis to sign long term. Simple as that. But to me, the Mavericks are in a situation now where if Kristaps Porzingis starts playing very soon, you can make a run up to the 8-7 seed in the West. You really could. But, you know, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, the Mavericks, you know, you probably have to make the playoffs either this year or next year to convince Kristaps Porzingis to stay long-term after 2020. But you have time. You have whatever is left of this year and next year you have. So keep your ass up. Keep your head up, Mavericks.